Georgia.
Yep.
I mean, that's unrecoverable. And when's the last time Georgia went Democratic? 1992 with Bill Clinton. So the fact that the margin is so close in Georgia is extraordinary. I lived there for 5-6 years, and the fact I saw the tone and tenor and demographic makeup and the politics of the state beginning to change. But for a Republican president to lose Georgia, I mean, first of all, it's going to destroy his chances of taking back the Oval Office, and then secondly, what a huge signal that is about the direction that part of the South is going in. So I know that the president would desperately love to hang on to Georgia, but as we see those numbers narrow, there's a real question as to whether he will. So for all this attention being paid on Pennsylvania and Arizona and Nevada, I think Georgia really is the race to watch.
Yeah, it may come down to Arizona and Georgia.
All right, John, we'll get you seated so you can get in position. We'll head back once the president gets in the room. Thank you.
Let's bring in Chris Tyler-Walt, politics editor here at Fox News. Chris, good to have you with us tonight. As we wait for the president, your thoughts?
Well, it's exciting, right? This is election week, and we are here. And as John points out,
I get that they want to fight, but there has to be something that they have to fight for.
Right. I mean, there has to be something real there. And so far, it doesn't seem like there is. There's a lot of noise about the potential for fraud, but no actual proof of any of those things.
No, the most they can come up with is that in Philadelphia, there were some questions about one particular convention center area, whether or not they can have observers there. I just went online and there's a live stream of it.
Not even whether they can have observers there, but how close the observers can be to the actual vote counting. Look, you just spoke to a Republican senator from Pennsylvania, and that's kind of all he could come up with in terms of pushing back on what Republicans are trying to say.
Wolf?
All right, Jake, thanks very much. John, we're waiting to hear from the President of the United States. He's going to be going into the White House briefing room, making a statement. We'll see if he answers reporters' questions. Before we hear that, let's do a reality check where things stand right now. He's not doing very well. Biden seems to be doing a whole lot better, getting closer and closer to the 270 electoral votes he needs to be elected president of the United States.
Right. States are counting legally cast ballots. It's trending against the president, and the president is mad. He's tweeting fraud. We'll see if he repeats that when he comes into the briefing room. Perhaps we'll see a different tone. But if you read his tweets, he says the election is being stolen from him. No, they're counting legally cast ballots, and the election is trending away from him. He could still win the presidency. The trend line is going the other way right now, but he is complaining because of this. His lead in Pennsylvania is down to 75,427 votes. It was once above 500,000 votes. So how is that happening? Because they're counting the votes in different process. First, they counted ballots cast on Election Day. President pulled out to a big lead because Republicans voted overwhelmingly on Election Day. Now they're counting ballots cast by mail. Democrats disproportionately voted by mail. We showed you a short time ago. I want to remind you, Cumberland County. The president is carrying this county. It went right after the Secretary of State spoke. They counted nearly 30,000 votes here. Joe Biden won 20,000 of them. Donald Trump won 9,000. So a net for Joe Biden of 11,000 votes in a Republican county. All of the mail-in ballots, even in Republican communities, are disproportionately Democratic. So Joe Biden got a net gain there. Then we'll come down to Philadelphia. We just got some more votes out of Philadelphia. I'll put these up on the board for you. There were, of the ballots cast, there were a little more than 4,000 ballots cast, 3,629 ballots for Joe Biden, 742 for Donald Trump. That is above 80%. Above 80%. It's about 82, 83% in Philadelphia. So you see as these ballots are coming in, this is what's happening. You count a few thousand ballots. Joe Biden gets 3,629. Donald Trump gets 742. And then you come out to the state. That lead keeps shrinking. So that is what is happening as they count legally cast ballots in Pennsylvania and in Georgia. The president leads in both states now, Wolf.
Let's talk about Georgia right now. I suspect he's going to mention Georgia because look at that lead. The president had, at one point, he had hundreds of thousands of vote lead. Now it's down to 9,426.
Right, and they're still counting the ballots here, and we know there are more enough ballots for Donald Trump to come. For Joe Biden to come back. In fact, there are more than enough ballots right here in this one county, Chatham, Savannah, and they expect, we checked in on this just a short time ago, they expect to have this up tonight. So just this one county alone, if Joe Biden keeps winning the mail-in ballots at the rate he has been, this is enough to either overtake or at least put him right back into contention. It's only 9,426 votes now, and we know there are still
77, all for Joe Biden. All for Joe Biden. Doesn't that raise a question? And this was, by the way, according to Nate Silver at 538. In Milwaukee, they had 89% turnout in the city of Milwaukee, which was 30 points higher than Hillary Clinton had, and 10 points or 15 points higher than Barack Obama. What does that mean? It's circumstantial evidence for sure, but it seems to me to suggest that the inquiry needs to be pushed. Courts can look at circumstantial evidence and make inferences.
It's down to 79 and change. By Thursday morning, it's down to 31,000. Then you come up Thursday morning a little bit later, it's down to 18,000. Then you get to 12,000. Now you come out in real time, it's down to 9,000. I can show you the same thing in Pennsylvania. I can show you the same thing in most other states. That is what's happening. Now, that looks stunning, right? When you see that lead drop so much. In a normal election, that would be, wow. In this election, we knew this would happen. They counted Election Day ballots first. Then they went back and counted the mail-in ballots. That is what's taking more time. That's why we're here on a Thursday, still talking about an election that was on Tuesday, because they're overwhelmed in the coronavirus pandemic, but they're doing their jobs, counting legally cast ballots.
This is democracy in action. Legally.
Republican poll watchers out, if that's indeed what they did, that should be very concerning to us. I think the larger picture of this is you look at all the changes we've made in election law. And the other part of Pennsylvania, frankly, that I find outrageous is the Supreme Court let stand a state court ruling that I think is unconstitutional. The law was one thing by the elected representatives. That's where the Constitution puts it. And they basically extended a deadline on their own. But these individual things add up. And I think what it's going to do is no matter who wins or loses, the loser will probably not only think, well, I've lost the election, but it was stolen from me. And that's a terrible thing for our country. And it's sort of the more lawyers, the more disputes, the more complicated and irregular you make the voting. I don't mean illegally irregular, but the more different kinds of ways you can vote and so forth, the more you invite these kind of outcomes. And I think it's going to be very bitter at the end. And that really worries me.
You know, Maura, the Democrats and a lot of these state officials are saying we had a very smooth election for the most part in these different places. They are not seeing evidence of fraud, and they are willing to look at all of the challenges. But at least they are so far standing up. The ballots can be challenged legally, and there's a process and a recount.
Of what is happening. And again, the transparency of this is full and open, and the president has every right to send people to watch. And if he had a case to really make, he would make it in court, not at press conferences complaining about something that, at least so far, they have absolutely no evidence to prove.
These poll workers all over the country, they're working so hard. They don't work for the president. They work for the American people because they want our democracy. Here he comes. Here comes the president of the United States.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to provide the American people with an update on our efforts to protect the integrity of our very important 2020 election. If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late. I've already decisively won many critical states, including massive victories in Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio. To name just a few, we won these and many other victories despite historic election interference from big media, big money, and big tech. As everybody saw, we won by historic numbers. And the pollsters got it knowingly wrong. They got it knowingly wrong. We had polls that were so ridiculous, and everybody knew it at the time. There was no blue wave that they predicted. They thought there was going to be a big blue wave. That was false. It was done for suppression reasons. But instead, there was a big red wave. And it's been properly acknowledged, actually, by the media. They were I think very impressed, but that was after the fact. That doesn't do us any good. We kept the Senate despite having twice as many seats to defend as Democrats, and in a really much more competitive states, we did a fantastic job with the Senate. I think we're very proud of what's happened there. We had many more seats to defend. They spent almost $200 million on Senate races in South Carolina and Kentucky alone, 2 races, and hundreds of millions of dollars overall against us. At the national level, our opponents' major donors were Wall Street bankers and special interests. Our major donors were police officers, farmers, everyday citizens. Yet for the first time ever, we lost 0 races in the House. I was talking to Kevin McCarthy today. He said he couldn't believe it. 0 races, very unusual thing, 0. And actually won many new seats with, I think, many more on the way. This was also the year of the Republican woman. More Republican women were elected to Congress than ever before. That's a great achievement. I won the largest share of non-white voters of any Republican in 60 years, including historic numbers of Latino, African American, Asian American, and Native American voters, the largest ever in our history. We grew our party by 4 million voters, the greatest turnout in Republican Party history. Democrats are the party of the big donors, the big media, the big tech, it seems, and Republicans have become the party of the American worker, and that's what's happened. And we're also, I believe, the party of inclusion. As everyone now recognizes, media polling was election interference in the truest sense of that word by powerful special interests. These really phony polls, I have to call them phony polls, fake polls, were designed to keep our voters at home, create the illusion of momentum for Mr. Biden, and diminish Republicans' ability to raise funds. They were what's called suppression polls. Everyone knows that now. And it's never been used to the extent that it's been used on this last election. To highlight just a few examples, the day before election, Quinnipiac, which was wrong on every occasion that I know of, had Joe Biden up by 5 points in Florida, and they were off by 8.4 points, and I won Florida easily. So they had me losing Florida by a lot, and I ended up winning Florida by a lot. Other than that, they were very accurate. They had him up 4 points in Ohio, and they were up by 12.2 points. And I also won Ohio, great state of Ohio, very easily. The Washington Post said Biden up 17 points in Wisconsin, and it was basically even. They were off by about 17 points, and they knew that. They're not stupid people. They knew that. Suppression. There are now only a few states yet to be decided in the presidential race. The voting apparatus of those states are run in all cases by Democrats. We were winning in all the key locations by a lot, actually. And then our numbers started miraculously getting whittled away in secret. And they wouldn't allow legally permissible observers. We went to court in a couple of instances, and we were able to get the observers put in. And when the observers got there, they wanted them 60, 70 feet away, 80 feet, 100 feet away, or outside the building to observe people inside the building. And we won a case, a big case, and we have others happening. There are lots of litigation, even beyond our litigation. There's tremendous amount of litigation generally because of how unfair this process was. And I predicted that. I've been talking about mail-in voting for a long time. It's really destroyed our system. It's a corrupt system. And it makes people corrupt even if they aren't by nature. But they become corrupt. It's too easy. They want to find out how many votes they need, and then they seem to be able to find them. They wait, and then they find them. And you see that on election night. We were ahead in vote in North Carolina by a lot, tremendous number of votes. And we're still ahead by a lot, but not as many, because they're finding ballots all of a sudden. Oh, we have some mail-in ballots. It's amazing how those mail-in ballots are so one-sided, too. I know that it's supposed to be to the advantage of the Democrats, but in all cases, they're so one-sided. We were up by nearly 700,000 votes in Pennsylvania. I won Pennsylvania by a lot, and that gets whittled down to, I think they said now we're up by 90,000 votes, and they'll keep coming and coming and coming. They find them all over, and they don't want us to have any observers, although we won a court case. The judge said you have to have observers. Likewise in Georgia, and they're appealing. Actually, they're appealing. We won a case that we want people to watch, and we want observers, and they're actually appealing, which is sort of interesting. I wonder why they'd appeal, that all we want to do is have people watch as they do the vote tabulations. Likewise in Georgia, I won by a lot, with a lead of over getting close to 300,000 votes on election night in Georgia. And by the way, got whittled down, and now it's getting to be to a point where I'll go from winning by a lot to perhaps being even down a little bit. In Georgia, a pipe burst in a faraway location, totally unrelated to the location of what was happening, and they stopped counting for 4 hours, and a lot of things happened. The election apparatus in Georgia is run by Democrats. We also had margins of 300,000 in Michigan. We're way up in Michigan, won the state. And in Wisconsin, we did likewise fantastically well. And that got whittled down. In every case, they got whittled down. Today, we're on track to win Arizona. We only need to carry, I guess, 55% of the remaining vote, 55% margins. And that's a margin that we've significantly exceeded. So we'll see what happens with that. But we're on track to do okay in Arizona. Our goal is to defend the integrity of the election. We'll not allow the corruption to steal such an important election, or any election for that matter. And we can't allow anybody to silence our voters and manufacture results. I've been doing a lot of public things for a long time. I've never had anything that's been as inspirational, by people calling, talking, sending things to us. I've never seen such love and such affection and such spirit as I've seen for this. People know what's happening, and they see what's happening, and it's before their eyes. And there are many instances which will be reported very shortly. There's tremendous litigation going on, and this is a case where they're trying to steal an election. They're trying to rig an election, and we can't let that happen. Detroit and Philadelphia, known as two of the most corrupt political places anywhere in our country, easily cannot be responsible for engineering the outcome of a presidential race, a very important presidential race. In Pennsylvania, Democrats have gone to the state Supreme Court to try and ban our election observers, and very strongly. Now, we won the case, but they're going forward. They don't want anybody in there. They don't want anybody watching them as they count the ballots. And I can't imagine why. There's absolutely no legitimate reason why they would not want to have people watching this process, because if it's straight, they should be proud of it. Instead, they're trying, obviously, to commit fraud. There's no question about that. In Philadelphia, observers have been kept far away, very far away, so far that people are using binoculars to try and see, and there's been tremendous problems caused. They put paper on all of the windows so you can't see in, and the people that are banned are very unhappy and become somewhat violent. The 11th Circuit ruled that in Georgia, the votes have been in by Election Day, that they should be in by Election Day, and they weren't. Votes are coming in after Election Day. And they had a ruling already that you have to have the votes in by Election Day. To the best of my knowledge, votes should be in by Election Day. And they didn't do that. Democrat officials never believed they could win this election, honestly. I really believe that. That's why they did the mail-in ballots, where there's tremendous corruption and fraud going on. That's why they mailed out tens of millions of unsolicited ballots without any verification measures whatsoever. And I've told everybody that these things would happen because I've seen it happen. I watched a lot of different elections before they decided to go with this big, massive election with tens of millions of ballots going out to everybody, in many cases totally unsolicited. This was unprecedented in American history. This was by design, despite years of claiming to care about the election security. They refused to include any requirement to verify signatures, identities, or even determine whether they're eligible or ineligible to vote. People are walking in there. They have no idea. They're just taking numbers. They're writing down things, the workers, and doing a lot of bad things. And we have a lot of information coming and litigation that you'll see that will shake even you people up. And you've seen it all. The officials overseeing the counting in Pennsylvania and other key states are all part of a corrupt Democrat machine that you've written about. And for a long time, you've been writing about the corrupt Democrat machine. I went to school there, and I know a lot about it. It hasn't changed. It's a long time ago, and hasn't changed. It's gotten worse. In Pennsylvania, partisan Democrats have allowed ballots in the state to be received 3 days after the election. And we think much more than that. And they're counting those without even postmarks or any identification whatsoever. So you don't have postmarks, you don't have identification. There have been a number of disturbing irregularities across the nation. Our campaign has been denied access to observe any counting in Detroit. Detroit is another place. And I wouldn't say it has the best reputation for election integrity. Poll workers in Michigan were duplicating ballots, but when our observers attempted to challenge the activity, those poll workers jumped in front of the volunteers to block their view so that they couldn't see what they were doing. And it became a little bit dangerous. One major hub for counting ballots in Detroit covered up the windows again with large pieces of cardboard. And so they wanted to protect and block the counting area. They didn't want anybody seeing the counting, even though these were observers who were legal observers that were supposed to be there. In Detroit, there were hours of unexplained delay in delivering many of the votes for counting. The final batch did not arrive until 4 in the morning, and even though the polls closed at 8 o'clock, so they brought it in, and the batches came in, and nobody knew where they came from. We've also been denied access to observe in critical places in Georgia. In multiple swing states, counting was halted for hours and hours on election night, with results withheld from major Democrat-run locations only to appear later. And they suddenly appeared, and they all had the name Biden on them, or just about all. I think almost all. They all had the name Biden on them, which is a little strange. I challenge Joe and every Democrat to clarify that they only want legal votes, because they talk about votes, and I think they should use the word legal votes. We want every legal vote counted, and I want every legal vote counted. We want openness and transparency, no secret count rooms, no mystery ballots, no illegal votes being cast after Election Day. You have Election Day, and the laws are very strong on that. You have an Election Day, and they don't want votes cast after Election Day, and they want the process to be an honest one. It's so important. We want an honest election, and we want an honest count, and we want honest people working back there, because it's a very important job. So that's the way this country is going to win. That's the way the United States will win. And we think we will win the election very easily. We think there's going to be a lot of litigation because we have so much evidence, so much proof, and it's going to end up perhaps at the highest court in the land. We'll see. But we think there'll be a lot of litigation because we can't have an election stolen like this. And I tell you, I have been talking about this for many months with all of you, and I've said very strongly that mail-in ballots are going to end up being a disaster. Small elections were a disaster. Small, very easy-to-handle elections were disastrous. This is a large-scale version, and it's getting worse and worse every day. We're hearing stories that are horror stories, absolute horror stories. And we can't let that happen to the United States of America. It's not a question of who wins, Republican, Democrat, Joe, myself. We can't let that happen to our country. We can't be disgraced by having something like this happen. So it will be hopefully cleared up, maybe soon, I hope soon, but it'll probably go through a process, a legal process. And as you know, I've claimed certain states, and he's claiming states, and we can both claim the states, but ultimately I have a feeling judges are going to have to rule. But there's been a lot of shenanigans, and we can't stand for that in our country. Thank you very much.
What a sad United States of America to hear their president say that, to falsely accuse.
Wow, so they go to it right away. They're hot.
To try to attack
They're hot on the CNN is relentlessly biased.
Lie about the election.
Wow, he just walked out of the room.
Smears about the integrity.
I don't know what to
counting
say.
in state after state. When he wins a state, it's legitimate. When he loses, it's because the vote is being stolen from him.
It's the Jim Fannon Show.
It's
It's 7:04.
It's frankly pathetic.
I'm a little late. I'm talking into the back of the microphone.
He assailed vote
up.
by mail. Why, he asked, why are the vote by mail ballots so
Here, we'll switch over to Fox. I mean, that is just, did you see the Chiron?
As you know, I've claimed certain states, and he's claiming states, and we can both claim the states, but ultimately I have a feeling judges are going to have to rule. But there's been a lot of shenanigans, and we can't stand for that in our country.
The Chirons on CNN were unbelievable. Yeah, he just says thanks and he goes. Can you believe it?
Yeah, the president coming out and basically saying that he believes the election has been
stolen. I can't believe
take any
it.
Questions,
Trump.
People yelling him on his way out the door.
Yeah,
I guess this is strategy
media,
right now.
Big money, big tech.
I can't believe he didn't take questions. This dude has proved himself to be by far the most accessible president of all time.
From the beginning, also
for coronavirus, dude was up there for hours every day. Well, at least he was giving the press alone
the handling of the ballots
45 minutes to an hour every day, plus his statement. He was out there for well over an hour, many times when the corona thing was really hot. And I didn't really tune into it, and then I started carrying them. Because I'm like, what is this guy doing? I mean, he's taking questions like from people like.
More votes kept coming
even
in.
The people he hates. We know. So I don't know. I guess I should start a new stream because, well, it's the Jim Fannon Show at 7 o'clock, but I'm just riding on the coattails of whoever's watching from President Trump. This is normally my spot. We come in with a little intro, we cruise some social media, and we watch some videos, and I'll talk shit about politicians and the far left wackos and the bias in media and feminism and my rage. Basically my rage. I go off about my rage a lot because here's the thing. I've come to accept that I go looking to be enraged. I mean, you can't go far on Twitter or social media without seeing it, because if people with differing opinions and unsavory appearances make you rage, then I think you're human. Anyway, it occurs to me that my social media accounts is just that, my rage. Let's see what... And this one, I'm back, okay? I'm going to take Devin Tracy down. But this was a good interview. October 19th, I got locked out for a week. So I just got back yesterday, 6 a.m., something like that. The days have been running together because like a drug addict, and I mean that literally, like, I mean, similarly to a drug addict, I stayed up till like 3:30 or whatever it was. Election night, I couldn't take it anymore. I continued to broadcast the results. I've been streaming for 48 hours. It's broken a couple times for whatever reasons, but I've been just streaming, and then when I'm here, I flip back and try and get away from the commercials. I go from Fox to CNN and back and forth, but I've been doing Fox and CNN since election night in a steady stream. So thank you to the new followers and anybody that commented or whatever. Why not? I mean, some people don't have access to the information, so why not put it out there? And so, listen to me blather. It occurs for atheism is unstoppable. Anyways, I should take this down, but like I said, I left this up for a week, and then I got locked out for a week, and I just got back yesterday. or the other day. Like I said, like a drug addict, I stayed up late. I got 3 hours sleep. I got up, I got things to do, but around that, I'm totally engrossed in like, what is going on here? Like, what the fuck? And you know what? Here, Cassandra Fairbanks, thank you for putting into words what I think I'm feeling, I hope I'm feeling. I felt such a relief and a release and a freedom from caring about who the fuck the president is. Leading up to it, I was anxious. I was thinking that I could make a difference by my social media posts, and you really don't. It's just another form to express your rage and hate, even if it is in loving support of an ideology that I just can't see how the left thinks today, or how they could vote for a guy like Joe Biden. I guess because Trump's that bad, I don't know, but there's so much that is wrong looking with this election. I'm not going to get into the election tonight. I don't think that's what it's going to sort itself out. Whatever happens, happens. I'm detached from it. I don't know why, but Cassandra Fairbanks, I think it was her, tweeted the other day, I feel a freedom and a release from this thing. And I'm like, yeah, fucking right. And even if I wasn't feeling it, she suggested me into it. No, I think she put into words what I was feeling. Like, who cares? And the greatest, like, I do care, and I care way too much lately. So I think a little healthy detachment's okay. I didn't plan on it. I'm just like, you know what? How does it affect my life? I know it affects my life, but none of my friends care about politics to this degree that it causes them, what's a word for it? Addiction? Obsession? Intellectual thirst? A thirst for information? News? Media? A critic? Like, I'm the natural critic. I see it. It's so easy for me. It's just my personality type. I am on my 4th YouTube channel. Welcome, Trew.Tube. If you're Trew.Tube's not rolling right now. It will be. We will be broadcasting from that website that you're looking at right there. Channel surfing with friends. Yo, what up, man? I need that thumbnail changed. It should say politics, comedy, and commentary or some shit like that. I can't. Free speech, politics, and comedy. We will be broadcasting from Trew.Tube soon, but right now I've got my privileges back on Trew.Tube, the YouTube channel. And that is what I think it's right here. Yeah. And I got 90 subs now? Okay, I was locked out of this for 2 separate 1-week periods. And I realized that some of my interviews that I did with people were only on the channel that was biggest that just got hacked. The last Jim Fannon Show channel. I think it was up around here, 85 or 88 subs. But it had like 300 videos and conversations. And it's gone. I probably won't get it back. I got to figure out how to appeal it and what email system it was attached to, or address or whatever. So in the meantime, I put some of that stuff up here. Devin Tracy was great, man. Check him out. Atheism is Unstoppable is my last. Oh no, we had JB Beverly after that. Beverly's with Beef Squad with Jim Goad. Good conversation. This was a good one with Rob Berry from Blue Turtle. Anyways, this channel. Welcome to. I'm broadcasting right now. See, live on that channel, and I haven't been able to do that for weeks, and so welcome aboard. Sorry, I'm kind of riding the coattails of a fake headline, which is President Trump. I can get back to that.
not attach
CNN
those lists
just
here,
makes me
of who those voters
nuts.
are, proving that they did actually place a ballot. But that's the kind of
causes
thing that
me
you would need to see
more
in
rage.
large numbers.
So are you like me? Are you putting yourself, honestly, are you putting yourself in the category of people that unconsciously wakes up and looks for something to be pissed about? I don't know. I'm trying it on. I don't want to believe that. But there's so many of us, if I do put myself in that category, there's so many of you out there that's, like, think about it. Somebody was saying, who it actually was Devin Tracy. I think I was watching his feed on Twitch or something. Or maybe he was on with Gavin on the election show on Censor.tv. I should have that loaded up.
Starting off with a tranche of 3,000 names, there will likely be thousands more. I'm also told that the Trump campaign has the names of people who are deceased that had a ballot cast in their name.
A great deal of the addiction.
So we hope to see more about
to
that.
Gambling comes from losing, because the addict loves to lose. And I'm like, oh my! Like, I don't understand addiction all that much. Like, I have, I have some, but they're kind of like meaningless. They're not harmful addictions, but I definitely have for food and, like, oh my gosh, so many. Not too many drug addictions that cause me any big deal or whatever. But I couldn't believe, like, he put that in context. I'm like, oh, really? So I've been on this idea that we suffer from an addiction to rage, or not me, but that you do, or the left more, because that's what I'm critical of right now, because, well, you suck. I used to be on the left. I know all about the left. I ran 10 elections mostly on the left. And I'm not 24 anymore. When I was 24, it was my first election. I was on the left. I didn't know any better. And at 24, most people are lefties anyway. I can still debate the positions of the left better than you can. But now, I'm center-right. I'm moderate. I don't like the extremes. I don't like feminism that talks about my body, my choice right up until birth. That's fucked. Sorry for my French. You can't have a conversation with someone that says my body, my choice, because you know what that means? That means my body, my choice anytime, right up until birth. And what was it, Governor Northam of Georgia, was it? Was on a radio show. This happened. The tape's out there. And he was asked a question of what happens if, by some strange miracle, and this does happen, partial birth abortions or whatever, the baby makes it out alive despite your monstrous attempt to end its life. The fetus's life, because it's not a baby until it passes the birth canal, right? You get where I'm going with this? Anyways, Northam said, in response to a question of what do you do if the baby makes it out alive? Oh, well, we keep it comfortable, of course. And then we discuss between the doctors and the so-and-so what we're going to do. Sounds perfectly normal, right? Right? This is the left today. What the fuck are we doing? Anyway, I've been trying it on. Am I a rager? Do I look to be enraged? And being timed out on Twitter is actually kind of healthy because, well, I'm not really timed out. I'm just forced to go over to an account where I don't get that much action because my Jim Fannon Show backup account that I use when I'm terminated from @Jim Fannon has got a quarter of the subs, right? And it's all about getting the message out, and you measure getting the message out with the obvious metrics that everyone uses on social media. The dopamine, the dopamine drip of social media, acknowledgement, That's how you measure it. With analytics, you can do it like simple. So although I use it for promotions and whatever, anyways, now I'm blathering. Did I even have a show planned tonight? No. Do I ever come on with notes? No. I promise, because I'm, I want to believe that I do a show that's quality enough that I could latch on with someone that's got a little bit more, I don't know, reach. Now that I'm terminated on my YouTube channel. And I'm grateful for the 90 subs. But shit, it's going to be gone anytime. And it's nothing like I had with the 6,000 subs I had when I was canceled. Anyway, welcome aboard. This is all you got, man. Around and round and around and around. And I'm based on Gavin McInnes's election night performance. I don't think I'll drink and broadcast any longer. I can't click on it. What the fuck? Trying to open it up, get a better picture. There we go. Yeah, based on this mess, how long did he go for? 6 hours, 21 minutes. All right. I wasn't planning on doing this. Here's okay, so let me show you. Can't I just scroll through? Oh man. Okay. Here's Gavin 25 minutes in. So maybe one beer, okay? Maybe two. Knowing Gavin, probably two. Milo Yiannopoulos, whatever his name is, that flaming homosexual. That I love Milo. He's very good in this role as a reporter or news, he was really good doing this. But then he got into the wine. So let's see. And he calls him Milo right off the bat. That was funny. Why are you calling me Milo? It's actually a pretty good. Here's Milo in the beginning, okay? And this is really, Gavin's looking good. Milo's looking good. Milo is a handsome fucking kid, man.
This morning.
No. All right.
7 p.m. Oh, so you did actually bring some means of celebration.
Yeah. But I don't have any wine glasses because I'm not a fag.
It's fine, we can swig. Comfortable swigging.
We've got a lot of guests.
I didn't really plan on, picking it up there, but that's the schoolyard humor that you get on censored.tv, and I fucking love it. I miss it. I'm glad one still is alive. Kumi is pretty good too. I haven't got into the compound media as much. Gavin's my guy. Crowder is pretty good, although it's very well produced, Hollywood style skits, full blown production, but a little too scripted. And I was a huge fan of Crowder's when he had Sven the Computer and Beep Beep Boop Boop, or Beep Beep, and Not Gay Jared on the board. In a quarterback, what's his name? Was good. But Not Gay Jared was great. Okay, so here's the point I was making. So here we're 10 minutes in. The boys are looking good. All right, let's see if I can. I'm not. Okay, Gavin is. His eyes are not. They're a little bit. Forget the guy above him. Okay, let's just see if we can get Milo. Where am I? How come I can't scroll? Oh, there. It's a bad. What's this? Let's give me a full screenshot of him. 5 hours in.
I can tell the majority of the states left to call are places that lean very heavily Trump. Similarly, USA Today, 223 to 212.
I guess it's okay to concede our landslide predictions did not happen.
They definitely didn't. And if you look at the states that are still
put Fox News behind him, dumbass.
You've still got Georgia, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and are closed in all these states that are leaning in some cases heavily
Actually,
Trump. I mean, Pennsylvania now is 50.
Milo was well on his way. He must have toned it down because he was. I remember seeing him halfway through, and he was fucking acting trashed.
Georgia, but 93%.
Unless he's just focusing right now. Anyways, I watched them for a while. I broadcast some of that. I went between these guys and Crowder. Crowder had some good interviews. I started out with the Jim Fannon Show, and then I just went back and forth to these guys. Then we started going back and forth from CNN to Fox, and I haven't watched the broadcast. I try not to watch my stuff, but it was at least entertaining and informative as far as like an election night show, because I just went back and forth. I went from these guys to Crowder, and then from CNN to Fox, and just ripped everyone off, and then criticized them as just chirp from the sidelines like a nobody, you know what I mean? Like a rage monster. Anyway, go to censored.tv, slam your $10. Get out your $10. Slam it down. Give it a month. I think you'll find some value here. If you like comedy and if you have some political leanings, you'll like Soph. She's a little bit rehearsed. Young, pretty articulate, and has a knack for delivering with the camera. Actually, absolutely no charisma. She's so fucking stark. She's got some good content. Biggs, I haven't watched Biggs in a while, but Biggs has got a solid show. Joe Biggs is a good man. I like his stuff. I just haven't been able to get over to it much. Copper Cab, not a big fan of. Lumert hasn't been doing stuff. Punk Rock Patriot, what the fuck? You haven't done a show since what? Forever. Fighting with Larry Barnes is cool. He breaks down the fights. That's pretty cool. Gary's mailbag is a homeless guy comes off the street and reads his own mail that viewers send to him. And obviously it's, co-hosted by the Emperor of the Fag Zone and Gavin McInnes. I'm gay for Gavin. These kind of shows are off much. Milo does a Friday night show. It's flaming. I don't watch it. And then there's the Gavin CRT archives. Jacob Wall can be pretty good. Beef Squad. I never miss an episode of Beef Squad. Jim Goad is hilarious. JB Beverly's a great co-host, and he does the tech end of it, and actually a musician. I have an interview with JB Beverly that you probably can't find anywhere. I have to get that up, but because I've had so many channel terminations lately, the majority of my stuff I think was on that last channel. But I'll put it up when it's there. It'll probably be up there tonight later. Atheism is Unstoppable is everywhere. Oh, you can find JB Beverly. You just search him on Twitter. Just search @Jim Fannon, @JB Beverly, and you should find a live video of my conversation with him up there. So that's one way you can grab it, because I don't think it's on YouTube. And you can find it on Facebook too, probably, if you search it too on Facebook. Devin Tracy is Atheism is Unstoppable, and I enjoyed him a lot. I'm gonna look to have him on again, because even though these guys are pretty generous with their time, they give me an hour. You can only do so much in an hour. Like, we had a couple topics, but nothing really in depth, and that was my first time talking to the Kangaroo. He was internet famous until they canceled him. Now he's on the Island of Misfits on Censored.tv, which is probably where I should be. Wayne Dupree, not a fan. Dusty Bogan, can't get into it. Lotus is brand new, and I'm not liking what I see so far. But there's some good stuff here, man, and it's worth the $10. Stop watching CNN, man. And it's, fuck my ears. My headphones are 40 years old, but they work most of the time. So anyways, there's a commercial for Censored.tv. I don't get paid shit, but there was a couple codes you could use. I don't know if they're doing codes anymore, but if you're serious and you want a code, there's probably one out there. Hit me up. Andrew, oh, what's up? Uh-oh, I shouldn't put you up there, eh, bro? I'm looking at your
access. We just heard moments ago from the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, the federal court, a judge took that on, heard the arguments, first said that they should kind of figure it out on their own in a recess, but then came back from the recess and said each side, Democrat and Republican, could have 60 observers in the room as long as they keep their social distance because of COVID, and that the countdown should continue in Philadelphia. So that's where we are. The bottom line, you do have those legal challenges. We're trying to follow them piece by piece as the developments come up, Martha and Brett, but you also have the vote count and the president's lead shrinking throughout the day, just over 64,000 votes now. Back to you guys.
Connell, thank you very much.
I'm not watching
So Republican Congresswoman Debbie Lesko contends that the race is not over in her state of Arizona, and she will join us to tell us what she thinks is going on there coming up next.
I spoke to the president yesterday morning, and I told him I believe that Arizona is going to go for President Donald J. Trump, and then he's going to other states, and he's going to win America.
You think you have game? If you don't think you have game,
when you're through with powering through, it's time for TheraFlu. Hot liquid medicine. Powerful relief. So you can restore and recover. TheraFlu. Hot beats cold.
Boom. And then
we're excited to do business with you, but before we sign, I gotta ask.
Sure, anything. Sam.
We searched you online, and
you're still there.
Maybe you can explain this?
Yeah,
I can't believe that garbage is still coming in. That is so false.
Frustrated with your online search results? Call Reputation Defender today to join tens of thousands who've improved their online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 1-877-866-8.
I do have a nice one, an instrumental that I'm trying out. Who gave me this one? Matt? Look at this.
555.
Can I play this right here?
It's in your nature to be busy. It's in our nature to be flexible. WGU, the online university where ambition never rests.
So, who here struggles with clogged gutters? Let's take a look at some damage caused by clogged gutters.
Clogged gutters did all that?
Absolutely.
That looks like our house.
Who climbs ladders to clean their gutters?
No. In the lobby.
I keep telling you it's dangerous.
Climbing ladders is too dangerous. Once our ladders go up, you can put yours down forever. So how does it work? Leaf Filter's three-piece system filters out leaves and debris, letting water flow through freely.
Do we need to replace our gutters?
Great question. Actually, Leaf Filter could be installed right on top of your
Jeff?
existing gutters.
That will save a
lot. Hang on.
Do I have to pay for an estimate? No, it's free. And you'll get a free gutter inspection.
What happened? Just went away. Okay, so I got you. Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, man. Can you hear me okay?
I'm all good. I might have... I got something playing in the background I haven't figured out yet. But anyways, how's things, man? How did you...
listening.
Oh, here we go.
All right, welcome back, everybody. The Trump campaign is holding a press conference right now in Atlanta, Georgia, tonight with Republican leaders in the state. Let's listen in.
Oh, we got a press conference.
All of you have been reporting Joe Biden up 10 points here, and one even said 17 points. You know what that was doing? You interfered more with this election than the damn Russians has.
Okay. That's enough of that noise.
Let me tell you,
I'm just going to
we're
cut
not
this
going to stand
audio.
there. We're not.
Welcome aboard, brother. What's going on? Let me turn your mic up because I think you were down a little bit low last time. From the other side of the world. No, I think you're good. It was on my end. I turned you up.
Man, Dusty Bogan's all right.
Is he?
He's all right.
Okay, well, maybe I just haven't seen enough yet. You know, I think it's... I'm just like, come on, man. I want to see quality content, right? But I don't also get, it's not, hey, it's not, what the fuck do I know? Gavin's doing fine. How much? He's making over $1 million a year and just membership, like sponsorship to watch his show. So he ain't doing bad. I'm not telling him how to do anything, but Copper Cab? What the fuck, man?
Oh, yeah, Copper Cab's insane. No, but Dusty Bogan, he's very lo-fi. He's like the Dinosaur Jr. of podcasts or whatever you want to call them.
Okay, well, what's that mean? What's that reference mean? I'm not familiar with the dinosaur. I've heard the name, but I don't know what the reference means.
Dinosaur Jr. were just a really like lo-fi, do-it-yourself kind of band.
Okay.
Where, even their really popular albums, they would drop like a recorder in the middle of a room and not necessarily figure out the levels and everything. So it's really like, so Dusty Bergen just walking around with a microphone and a camera, glare everywhere. It reminds you, he's like the Dinosaur Jr. of podcasts.
Awesome. So anyway, I did a little bit of a pre-election show, and last time I checked in with you, you're like, dude, I'm too amped. Do you take it that seriously?
This is insane. The whole world is watching the States right now, and it's kind of disheartening in a way, because I was thinking back to when the Hong Kong protests were happening. You know that viral clip where the Avi Yemeni from Rebel News is talking to that Hong Kong protester. He's like, "Don't trust China. China's asshole."
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's a great clip.
Those guys are walking around with the American flag, man. The flag and the country stand for freedom and democracy. And to see them do this, all this stuff that's going on, and how they're trying to illegitimize the whole process, steal the true election away from Trump, and these ballots that just keep showing up in massive chunks. My concern is that it's just going to keep going. I think they're probably, if they haven't already, they're about to call Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Have they called it yet? No, it's a gap of about 3,000 now. And, dude, it's going to start another civil war, is what I think.
Hmm. It's strange that it seems like the riots are quiet. I mean, there's a little bit of it, but I don't think I think everyone's kind of sitting on their hands waiting to see what happens.
Every update that we get is not actually an update. It's just more of the same thing. It's Sleepy Joe and that crazy witch that follows him around, which, oh my God, if he gets in, he won't be president for long. She'll push him off a cliff or something. Kamala Harris, she's off her fucking wagon. But I don't even know what to say about it, man. All the updates that we're getting, they're not really updates. It's just more of the same thing. Joe and Kamala just saying, we're confident we're going to win it. But when Trump says, I'm confident that we have won it, it just sort of goes around in circles for a little bit. I don't really know. I don't think anybody really knows what to expect next. And a lot of people are flooding my Facebook inbox saying, oh, he didn't look very energetic, or that's not the spirit that I was hoping out of that last update. He's probably been awake for the past 3 to 4 days straight.
Mm-hmm.
Can we cut the guy some slack, please?
Mm-hmm. It makes me feel so basic, but I'm having a difficult time. And I trust me, I'm the first to say I suffer from severe polarization. I've got my issues. I'm cemented on them pretty well now. Like, I can be changed on some. I haven't had an educated debate on capital punishment. Not that that's a big thing right now, but like on immigration, I've got a cemented opinion. You don't come across illegally. Period. That's not hard to figure out. And you don't fuck with my speech. You don't regulate guns, because more laws don't cause communities to be safer. So I'm pretty firm on some of my positions. Some of them I'm not, because they're just not important to me now. But I have, this is a long-winded way of saying that it makes me feel so basic when I truly have a difficult time understanding how one person in that country votes Democrat or votes for that guy or those two. Like for instance, the Attorney General for Pennsylvania came on, I think it was tonight. I can't remember her name, but I kind of re-quoted it in my live stream as Tushu Booker or something like this, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Now, she could be an absolute, she's Democrat, I get it. But first glance, listening to the way she handled her answers, I did not see an ideologically possessed politician. I saw someone real. Now, she could be completely evil, but I made a snap judgment right there. I'm like, I might not agree with this woman, but I like her demeanor. I think she's probably a decent person. You know what I mean? You get some of these politicians, the one in Chicago and Waters specifically. Like, there's so many of them that are just unlikable and biased, and maybe put Trump in that category. But like, and I wasn't a Trump fan since the escalator. Like, I was very soft on Trump. The only thing I agreed about Trump is I wasn't gonna generate any hate for him, because I had experienced hating my own politicians here in Canada, Stephen Harper, and it just it tears you up. So I don't need any more hate. So I just said I'm not going to waste any hate on this guy. And then when he started talking policy, I'm like, okay, well, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. I like the way he handled China. I like the way he crossed the DMZ. I like what he did on the coronavirus. I can't find one lefty to tell me what they would have done that he didn't do. When he closed Europe, like, my jaw dropped when I watched it. I was carrying it live. I'm like, what? Like, that's a big deal for your economy to close Europe, right? I get closing China. We never closed anything in Canada. And so
it really makes you understand that he knows that taking care of the people in his own country is and always will be his first priority. He likes to gloat about the greatest economy and all that. And fair enough, that's true.
Oh, he's such a bullshitter, but at least you know what you get. You know what I mean? He's a blowhard.
But even that being his main, not his main, but one of his giant, one of the giant ticks in his column, the giant box that he's standing on, even for him to be willing to shut that down at that point, that early in the game, just shows you that he's not actually this megalomaniac that everybody's making him out to be.
Well, no, and then as I start to get deeper with Trump, I'm like, well, he's funny as hell. Number one, that's so important. Two, I love that you just know what you get with Trump. You get the same. He doesn't pretend for anyone. With the Queen, with the Pope, with you, with whoever. He's just Trump, and I love people like that, because at least you know what you get. So then he starts to grow on me with his humor, and then his policy, and then I find myself defending him because the left has taken all his quotes out of context. I didn't see him say all those things live, but when you go back and you find out that no, he wasn't saying there was good people on both sides, idiots, and they're still talking about it today. So, and that's kind of what rages me most, about the media, is it's so leftist, and so. Well,
I think it's the left that actually are responsible for the majority of his supporters. I put this thing on Facebook before the election started. I think you liked it, actually, where I was just sort of saying, back in 2015, if anyone asked me about politics or any of this sort of stuff, I would have said, I don't care. I don't have an opinion, because when one half gets something, the other half gets upset, and keep me out of it. But then somewhere down the line, I saw they said the Apprentice guy's running for president. And I was like, all right, that sounds dumb, but whatever. Keep reading the headlines. And then this one showed up where they said, it was the one where they said he was making fun of the handicapped reporter.
Right.
You know the one?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, I have to see this. So I clicked on the link. There's no video. I went searching for it. I couldn't find it. Eventually I did find it, and it was so taken out of context.
I know.
And then this is back when the YouTube algorithm used to work. The next video that lined up was from the Gavin McInnes show, where he's just going through and explaining what actually happened and just providing the context with the whole clip. And it was just something, I don't know if it's my Sicilian blood or what, but just, I never forgot that. And I was like, you fuckers made me feel bad for this guy over something that didn't happen.
Well, I just found myself, you made me defend him.
Yeah, every other time they said something bad about him, I was like, all right, I'm going to look into it. And I just kept finding more lies and more lies. And then I started watching the rallies. And it's like you said, you hear, I want to do this and I want to do that. And China's eating our lunch and we're losing all these jobs.
You know what? He's been so consistent on China. He's had the same narrative on China for 30 years. He's been talking about China eating our lunch for 30 years. So, like I said, if nothing else, he's consistent. I mean, he's been, I don't know. He's, anyways, I say all that to say, you'd think that even the lefties could go, well, at least he's a leader. At least he's not getting pushed around on the world stage. Nobody's taking advantage of Trump. I don't think he's in anyone's. Well, I mean, I don't think he's in the pocket of big business as much, or the establishment as much as any other president. I refused. I mean, he could be. Maybe he's just milking it.
Could be.
But most of them do, anyways. I mean, even in Congress, I mean, they make a living off this, no problem. These guys aren't living off of, $70,000, $80,000, $120,000 a year. They're living in $1 million mansions. Like this, it just doesn't wash. You're in a.
He doesn't seem to be the kind of guy that would like to be on a leash.
No, he's an anti-establishment guy, which I appreciate. He doesn't care. He holds a middle finger. He don't care. He took on Big Pharma. I thought that was pretty cool, and I feel like he genuinely, wants to take care of people. He didn't have to run for president. He donates his check. Oh, listen, I got a list. I'm going down here. It wasn't, he just grew on me. And now, Trump didn't red pill me. That started before that, but he was part of it. It was mostly, I think, Crowder got to me quite a bit. I was already red pilled when I came over to McInnes, I think. Jordan Peterson unbelievably brought me really squarely facing the radical left with their trans issue thing. And I get that the radical left is only a few people, but they're ugly, man. And I don't want you to tell me what my speech I should be saying, So, 5 years ago today, I was a Green Party candidate. You believe that?
Wow. Wow. Well, look, one last thing, and then I'll let you go, because you mentioned earlier that you were saying that with Trump, what you see is what you get. I think with Biden, obviously what you see is not what you get. And it's very early in the game. Obviously, it looks like it's kind of leading towards him winning this election, at least on paper. But it seems to me, or in my opinion at least, that Biden's mask is starting to slip. If you look at the emails that have come out from Hunter Biden's laptop, and then if you look at the way that he sort of goes after some of these reporters that ask him difficult questions, and then you also take into consideration the way that Obama talks about him behind his back, and then you compare it with his persona, like Grandpa Joe, everyone get along. When you compare those two contrasts, his TV personality versus all this other stuff that we know about him, it's the polar opposite of Donald Trump.
Well, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. And today, you know what? The last time I saw Joe Biden was about 2:00 in the morning, right? And he nailed it. He looked good. He didn't fumble. He was on, and I didn't expect him to be that fresh, but he was on point. And then today I looked once at him and I'm like, oh, he looks like hell.
Have we seen Joe Biden today? I didn't know that we'd seen him today.
I think I saw him today. Did he not speak today somewhere?
I don't know.
I saw a clip of him recently, like today. At some point, I saw a clip of him, and he looked bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
this whole week to me is just a blur.
Well, and that's
I'm pretty much running on American time.
Well, yeah, and that's what I've been saying is, at least you got leadership there. This guy loves it. Like Trump just feeds off it, man. He is the perfect personality type for president of this time, I think. And so, yeah, I was saying earlier, I feel a strange freedom and detachment from it, because I think when push came to shove at 3:30 in the morning, I woke up and I'm like, who cares? Fuck it. You know what? I can't let it fucking consume every waking moment, because it was the last couple days right up to it, because I thought, I'm going to be active doing my part to chirp, pre-election, even though I'm Canadian. You never know. You might influence a vote here or there.
That's right. Yeah.
And then afterwards,
right,
I'm like,
look, I'll let you get back to it.
All right. I got nothing, but thanks for calling, man. I appreciate talking to you.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for sharing the streams, sharing them with a couple of people.
Yeah, but
here and there, and I'll check back in with you again down the line.
All right, my brother.
Take it easy,
man. Take care. Peace out.
Bye.
Andrew. He's an Aussie, if you haven't noticed. And then he said Sicilian blood. I'm like, what? What is that? Trew.Tube. Oh, it's cleaned up. We even got a merch store. Oh, it's nice and simple now. This is my conversation with Rob Berry. It was, I thought it was inspiring. This, how did this? Oh no, this one didn't get dropped. This is about the only clip. I have a few clips of Gavin up, but pretty much, I mean, I could play you. Oh no, I can't play you the clip. If I play you the clip, it'll give me another strike. I could play you this clip because this one.
I'm a sponsor.
Hey, Jim.
To punish you.
My brother, can you hear me all right?
Yes. Yep.
It's all good, man. I just also had a fantasy about Ryan dying, and I was really sad for a minute. Nice job on the app. Sorted a bunch of bugs for me, and I love the laughs and the comedy. They're sorely needed these days. Brother, I wonder, outside of Rogan and Ezra, who's dropped you because there's, quote, you're got a hive of bees around you, or bees flying around you, and who stood beside you? I hope that you sue the SPLC into bankruptcy. And thanks for taking my call. I'll listen online. I like you more than a friend. Peace out, yo.
Perfect. That was a good one, except
Jim ruled.
Except he had a fantasy about you dying and he felt sad.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
I think he means he had a dream.
No, it was probably like a nightmare, maybe, or.
Yeah, but no one fantasizes. You don't feel bad about your fantasies.
Oh,
I don't feel bad about Eva Mendes and Lucy Liu wrestling over who gets to blow me first.
He imagined it.
Okay, that's not a fantasy.
You weren't expecting this, were you?
I think it's easier to list who didn't abandon me. That would be Laura Loomer, Milo Yiannopoulos, Alex Jones, then like Jack Posobiec, Cassandra Fairbanks.
Love Cassandra Fairbanks.
Misfit toys on the right. What about liberals who didn't screw me over? I don't want to say their names because they didn't go public about it, and I don't want to ruin their careers. But very few out of this sort of LA funny scene, I can think of one, and he's getting in shit because he goes to parties and he doesn't disparage Trump enough. He doesn't wear a Trump shirt, but they're all bitching about Trump, and then look over at him, and he's like, That's wearing a Klansman uniform in L.A. Gotcha. So, yeah, and Dave Rubin, by the way, he had abandoned me back like maybe 2 years ago. He was already like, yeah, I'd love to get you on the show, but...
James O'Keefe didn't abandon you.
James O'Keefe, that's another good one. But he doesn't... He's not someone who hosts people.
You're right.
He did appear on my show, though, at the drop of a hat. So, yeah, James O'Keefe's a good example.
So that's you can watch these kind of clips. I'm gonna get some more conversations up there. It needs some work. What's this? Jim Fannon Show. How do you get there? Oh, see. All right. Well, we got some live shows up there, or do we? I gotta work on this stuff, man. But it's up. Soon we'll be broadcasting from this TREW, Trew.Tube. You feel me? Go slam down $10 and get on Censor.tv. You'll love it. So there's my Trew.Tube, and welcome to my Trew.Tube YouTube audience. My Twitter audience is obviously, it's raging. Nobody wants to. It's President's stream, and yeah, no, it's not. I'm out. This was something that didn't go right. What the?
Fuck you, fascist! Fuck you, fascist! You're all fucking pieces of shit.
Now you're going to jail for the third time. I should have this loaded. This animal Luger, right in the face. Bye-bye. No polite, can you turn around and put your hands behind your back, young lady? You're going to jail? No. Not in this case. Look at homie in the background, eh? Look at her. You think you're so fucking tough. You live in the greatest country in the world. Davina. She was an intern for Jerry Nadler. She's been arrested. This is the third time she's been arrested. She's been arrested for a resisting arrest. You know, so back to my open. I'm trying on the idea that I'm a rageaholic, that I'm actually subconsciously going out and looking for this every day. That's not healthy. Could I be this? Could I be this guy? Corona what? You notice that the live streams have no coronavirus on the chyrons. Well, this is Fox. They didn't do much of that. It was mostly CNN that did that. But CNN's chyron, which I can switch to right now, probably. Fox's. The chyron is what's on the bottom. Now, I know we have an election on, obviously. And it's fluid. But not once has Corona made the chyron since the election. I haven't seen anything about Corona since the election started, like probably maybe even a day before. Hardly anything. And I watch. Gutfeld, have you ever been to an Eagles game today? He said, now, I don't know. Maybe you're a fan, Greg, but back the hell up if you're not, man. Get off my boys. Fucking hurting enough. Oh, we got football on tonight. I got to get out of here. It's 8 o'clock. Game's coming up. Trump's I went to Trump's timeline today. Not because I go there a lot. Fuck off. Now, somebody responded, I'll just click view and you can see them. No shit. Fuck. I shouldn't talk shit about my followers. I love you all. Thank you. But yeah, I get that all you have to do is click on it and you see it. But that's not the point. This was the top of Trump's feed when I went to it today at 5:08. Oh, big tech is in the tank like you cannot believe. Chain of custody is only a few days away from trending. I'm telling you. It's going to be, you're going to hear so much about chain of custody in 3, 2, 1 days. Tops. Listen, don't listen to me. I never predict anything with any accuracy at all, so. What was this? Oh, this is news. Jim Acosta is such a weasel, a worm. You know, it's funny how you earn your nicknames. Because I have some favorites. Cuck is one. We all know you dumb fucking cunt is certainly one of them. But Jim Acosta is he's a worm. Look at that beautiful face. Trump is in the Oval Office this afternoon. A White House official confirms. What? Okay, yeah, where do you expect him to be? On the golf course? So what? Trump is in the bathroom. Breaking. Trump is on the patio. Breaking. This just in. Trump is in a housecoat in his bedroom in the White House. This just in. Sounds of what could be sex came from the door. Report from a source deep inside the. Fuck off. Wow. Thank you, Jim. You suck. Hey, did you watch this? This is U.S. Postal Service. Oh my God, no volume.
With the boxes today.
All right, brother.
Hey, not a problem, man. I'm gonna see if I can get you some, like a nice little handful.
Oh,
what's your unit number?
You're gonna get a handful?
What's your unit number?
322. You gonna get a handful?
I'll probably I don't know, maybe. If it's in there, I ain't do it.
And you'll put some in there for me.
I might, man.
All right, brother.
See what I can do.
A postal worker in Nevada offered our undercover journalist a handful of ballots that was sent to the wrong address.
That's it. All right. Anyways, James O'Keefe's been breaking lots of corruption.
Interested, I don't think.
This is an enabler of corruption in Canada. This is what it looks like. It usually wears a pink or purple turban to signify his allegiance to the LGBTQ plus 2 AI.
A country just south of our border has so abysmally failed the challenge of this global pandemic, has put people in the United States at risk, and has put, frankly, the world at risk.
You imagine a Canadian politician chirping an American president, the leader of the free world, who
denies basic steps that would keep people safe, who has
Which ones?
Division, has inspired white supremacists, violence,
has
emboldened racism,
and
division to a
like you're doing right now, jug meat.
In that context, yes, it is important for
this guy has got a $3,000 suit on. He doesn't
it would be better for
fucking comb the thing at least. Like, I mean, okay, I get that you don't fucking go near a razor for whatever reason, mostly religious, I guess. He's a Sikh, right? But can you fucking dial it back? Like, comb it down? Like, get the fucking, like, I mean, does it have to be the, man, listen to me. Who fucking cares? This guy's got a beard. Fucking cares. I don't listen or watch everything I post, but my comment is correct. Can you, and you know, I can't watch it all because it destroys me. I'll do it with you right here, but K.R. Davidson, you got 1 day right now. K.R. Davidson's running for the CPC, that's the Conservative Party of Canada, in the St. Catharines EDA. If you want to vote for him, if you think he's a good guy and you want him to be the candidate, he has to have an internal nomination contest first, which is probably in the next month or so. But you need to be a member of the local EDA today. If you go to my Twitter account, you'll see that, and you got to live in St. Cat. You have to live in St. Cat. Listen to my English. My grandmother would slap me. Well, she wouldn't slap me, but if you live in St. Catharines and you want to support a local conservative guy, a lawyer, a good man, a solid man, you got to join the party today. It's $15. The link is on my Twitter. But you must live in St. Catharines. You gotta. Oh, fuck. Holy cuckoo. You privileged, racist pig is a very fitting moniker for you, young lady. You privileged piece of, I don't like to say piece of shit anymore. It's just so, human garbage works. Are these people redeemable? Do you think this woman who's been arrested 3 times in the last 3 months, rioting, protesting, spitting in cops' faces, resisting arrest, assaulting officers? I think she had a weapons charge maybe too. Is this a woman that's going to come around? Or is what you get? She's 24, Hey, when I was 24, I was ideologically possessed too. Not to that degree, but I was a lefty. No one cared enough to bring me over to the right or couldn't reach me if they did. I got over to the right in the last 5 years on my own. It's just the center right, but with the left being so far left, the center right is extreme. Oh, I'm sorry. You're watching TV and not me. Fuck. What an idiot. Thanks for tuning in into the Jim Fannon Show, where you don't get to watch what I watch. We just watched that, and we just watched that. I guess you just got to hear it. You don't really need to see it. So at least you should have got the audio from it. So, okay. I'm a little bit of an idiot. Sorry. Did I at least play this for you? No. Did I miss it? All right, I'm going to put you through it one more. No, I think you did watch this. I hope I... See, I have two screens, and there she spits in her face, and then now you're going to jail. You dumb vagina. All right, it's 8:03. I've done my time. Thanks to Andrew for coming out. I guess I should finish up with the music because this is how we identify the show, I guess. When we're, we'll just finish up with this. Oh.
You're going to call us racist? You're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs? Fuck you.
War. Yep, one of my favorite clips. Andrew Breitbart. I wish I was around. I wish I knew him. I wish I was tuned in to media when he was alive, because he was one of the greats. And, I did a couple long streams, man. Look at this. 17 hours on this one. I started out whenever. I guess it was broken into pieces. So this one's 17 hours. Continued election coverage. That's 17 hours. It's the same one. My iPhone was crapped out on me the other day. Kind of scared me. 2 hours. That was the interview with Boo. Okay, so I guess maybe, I don't know. I thought it was it must have been broken up into pieces. Excuse me. Oh, there's another 22-hour one. 17 and 22. That's about right. There we go. So that was the first one. Actually, at the beginning of this... No, at the beginning of this, there should be my show.
He told me to stop playing with...
So there's probably one before...
What?
There's probably one before this one, too. Although... Oh, that was before I got my privileges back on... And it wasn't broadcast. I was, when I was suspended, or when I was in jail for Twitter jail, this might be the original one. This has to be it. Unless I had a broadcast issue. Yeah, okay, so this is actually a pretty good show, and then I went down the Lori Yip fucking rabbit hole again. What's wrong with me? I got called out on social media. My social media started raging the other day because I put up a clip of Sean Connery. Sean Connery with Baba Waba saying that, yeah, it's all right to hit a woman once in a while as long as you use the open hand and she deserves it. You know, like if she keeps going on and won't let it go, she keeps coming back at you over and over and over when you told her to drop it and she won't let it go and she won't let it go and she won't let it go, then, hey, give her a fucking smack. I didn't say it exactly like that, but that's exactly pretty much what he said. But the genius part was the end of it. Sean Connery. Well, what happened? How come it's not there? How come you can't watch it? That's there. Anyways, this one's not uploaded. Anyways, at the end of the video, whoever edited the video made it look like he smacked Baba Wawa across the fatch. And it was fucking hilarious, right down to the point of, like, it sounded like she was sitting on a collapsible chair and she fell her ass right over, or she took out a coffee table on the way down or something. Like, it was classic funny. I should have it here. I wasn't, it's not. Anyways, I posted that shit on my Facebook, and some virtue signaling hillbilly got a hold of it and started sharing it all over the place, calling for, he was tagging media in my town, trying to get me canceled further or fired again. Like, he was tagging mutual friends and then provoking comments for people to come to my page and tell me that I was a whatever, something not nice. Well, listen, I don't care what you say. Bring it. It's traffic. Fuck. You're probably listening right now because of it. Okay, so this is an example of the girl I was talking about earlier. I don't know why. She could be evil, but I like to think I'm a good judge of character. It's not because she's gorgeous or anything like that. I just looked at her. I'm like, yeah, well, she sounds like a reasonable human being.
But I'm happy to check with them afterwards.
Again, maybe she's the devil.
So many other things, but I don't know what's going on in those 7 precincts. So thank you. We will reach out to them.
Or maybe she's just that good of a politician that she makes herself likable, even if you disagree completely. But I'm just sitting there, I'm going, you know what? Who else is coming around on me? Donna. What's Donna's name? The girl that gave Hillary Clinton all the questions at the debate? Donna Brazile. The first couple times I saw Donna Brazile, what was coming out of her mouth was just pure garbage. And that with the fact that, like, well, she's different looking. Let's just put it that way. I mean, she's no Mayor Littleton or whatever her name is. Fucking Beetlejuice there in Chicago. Actually, Donna Brazile's a decent looking lady. She's got the big hair, and she puts some effort into it. Anyways, the first couple times she said something, I was just loathing, like, ooh, just, revolted. But she's grown on me lately. I kind of like her. She tells it like it is. She's biased. She's in the tank, but Fox pays her, I think, to be on. So, and I've been watching a lot of Fox. So she's like the one of their token liberals that they have on, like Juan, whatever his name is. He's not so great. But Donna Brazile is growing on me. It's not like I want to hate her, but I easily could. I can't believe Donna Brazile. What am I saying? Donna Brazile is growing on me? What the hell is wrong with me? Anyways, did we play that? Matty McPherson, thank you for the tune, man. This is Matt McPherson. I played a little bit of it earlier. Let's go back. We'll go back to like about 25 seconds in. I'm going to let this play through. It's a 5-minute track, and then I got to play some music afterwards. It's for my bumper music. Apparently, if I do that, then we can find my stuff on the net. We can find if somebody else is using it or whatever, I guess. Because I used to be able to do it on my YouTube channel when I had a good channel. You could actually cruise around and look for your content, like content that matched yours. So in other words, if you have unique content, it's yours, right? But I don't have that privilege now. So this is Matt McPherson. Thank you, brother. I bumped into this. He commented it on my post. I haven't talked to Matt in a while. I like Matt. And so I went to his profile because I wasn't sure exactly who it was. And then I went over to his SoundCloud link, and I found this little beauty. I don't know. Maybe, I'm a sucker for the beats. It's instrumental, but I like it. And he said I could use it. And it won't get me busted on YouTube, I hope. So, yeah, I gotta take a break at least. Matt McPherson, thank you, my brother. I love you. This is called Want Some? Suck. Thank you. Matty McPherson, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for sending me over some beats. Anyways, yeah, commented on my page. I cruised by, and that's what you got. Oh, fuck. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. So, this? Seriously? Unbelievable. It's going to be, I don't know. How long? Too long. Too much uncertainty, man. A lot of people sending me that look what I found thing lately. Spam, I guess. Yeah, weeks. I don't know. But I've detached. I'm out. This is all I care about now. Violence against cops. Violence on our liberties. Big tech in the tank with lack of censorship for animals like this. This is okay. You know, she's doubling down, and I get it. You take a beating, you get canceled, you get hate from all over the place, you go suicidal, you go on a couple benders, and then you come back and you're like, fuck you. I'm fucking stronger than you. You fuckers. Fuck the mob, man. But come on, man. Is that really necessary? She's not well. I wonder, Zeke Heil! Well, I guess you have to have your fingers outstretched for it to be a Zeke Heil. Bannon? She's posting Bannon? This is what I don't get. Why? Like, I guess I do the same thing. But if you hate these people so much, why do you give them your massive platform of 2.1 million followers? I mean, Bannon's got his own platform. He's banned from everything. Bannon is banned. I'll be banned as well. I don't know how long I'll be for these platforms, but even maybe I'll go away before they ban me. I don't know, but like, why do you give this guy an extra platform? What's he saying? What are you saying, Steve? Let's see.
If you will, with the British while they were occupying Philadelphia.
Oh, I got something else in the background too. Oh no, and then see, I'm not on the. See, I keep talking to you. But I'm not showing you. Fuck, I'm sorry. I am my word. I'm not on the ball today for production. Not at all. Where was I? Kathy Griffin?
Second term kicks off with firing Ray, firing Fauci. Now, I actually want to go a step farther, but I realize the president is a kind-hearted man and a good man. I'd actually like to go back to the old times of Tudor England. I'd put the heads on pikes, right? I'd put them at the two corners of the White House as a warning to federal bureaucrats. You either get with the program or you're gone.
Wow.
Time to stop playing games. Blow it all out. Put Rick Grinnell today as the interim head of the FBI. That'll light him up, right? You know what?
Wow, Bannon going hard. So, okay, if you hate that speech so much, and I say I'm a free speech absolutist, Bannon has every right to say. Yeah, I mean, he's not inciting violence. He's making a fucking, I don't know. It's probably more a joke than anything. Or a metaphor or a bad, what do you call him? Like, I'm sure the guy's going to fucking, like, take someone's head off and put it on spikes at the, like, come on. Come on. But why would you promote it? If you hate it so much, why promote it? If it's so bad and so damaging and incites fear and hate, why would you continue to propagate it, Kathy Griffin? Well. Steve Bannon says regarding Dr. Anthony Fauci and FBI Director Christopher Wray, I'd put the heads on spikes. So, if it is actually inciting others to commit violent acts against individuals, then why retweet it? Oh, no, because she quote tweets it, so she gets all the action off it. That's why. Jeez. Anyway, it's 8:20. Kickoff's already started, probably. Let's see what we got here. No, hasn't started yet, but wow. That's a nice gold mask. What? You don't need a mask when you're broadcasting. What, are you going to infect your mic? Nobody else is using your mic. Stop it. What? These people are wearing masks. Don't wear a mask when you're working out, you fools. Like, why don't people get it? I know the NFL's probably got harsh rules. This is called kickoff, kids. There's one thing more important than broadcasting to you on a Thursday night, and that is this. And that probably just got me canceled. Cut down. All right. Just so we can see we did it. On the way out, we got to hit 2 of my instrumentals, okay? Okay. Peace, love, hug your neighbor. And I guess this is when you say, like me, share me, follow me. Twitter, Twitch, DLive, YouTube, Periscope, Fakebook. What up? Respond to me! You know who that guy is? Sports commentary, sports radio show out in L.A. No, you wouldn't know who it is. Please, someone tell me who that was. Los Angeles, respond to me! Nobody's going to know who that is. All right. What are we doing? Oh, we're getting sidetracked. That's what we're doing. A deep dark hole. That's what I call this. My friend Jay Beatty made it for me. And the one after that, it's just called Fannon Intro Mix. It's good enough for the girls I date. Peace, love, hug your neighbor, take your mask off. I'm out.